All right, it's 11:16. I can't sleep, and I'm feeling nostalgic, so we're doing an hour yap session today. I starting in three, two, one. Okay. When I brought this idea up to my friend, he said I should start this off by talking about extinguishers. And the first thing I thought about when he brought up extinguishers is how many fire alarms have gone off since I've been here. To the point where I've lost count. I'm done making videos about it, and it's just been on and on and on and on. It's at least it went from a few a day, and it has slowed down a bit to being one. It went from once a few a day, once a week, once every few weeks. It's starting to pick up its pace again towards the end of the semester, which is what my RA had told me. And my RA, surprisingly, he's a sophomore because normally RAs are upperclassmen. And I thought it was cool that he managed to become an RA. And he's actually a Boy Scout too. And he's made his Eagle, and we had a good conversation about everything and how I waited to the last second to do everything to get my Eagle. How I didn't get the last requirement signed off until I don't remember, but it was anywhere from like 4 to 6 days before I turned 18. I was rushing, and literally the last requirement I needed to do was for my hiking merit badge, and it was a 20-mile hike. It was honestly the worst thing that I had ever done. My legs, hips, everything was bothering me. Um, I had walked from a marketplace near my house, and I was just doing laps around everything. It took me a little under 8 hours to do. I'd say no, it took me way under 8 hours to do. I think I did it like 6.5, 7 hours. My dad joined me after mile 11. I went out like I think I was like a 3.2 mile an hour pace the entire time, which I feel like was pretty fast. No, I started off at a 3.5, but as time went on, I slowed down to a 3.2, and that was actually pretty fast. And I think that was just like the fatigue getting to me. It was to the point where the last, I think, 50 feet, I was just jogging in a circle trying to get it because I was just so tired from exhaustion. And I've come to terms that I have a lot better physical endurance than lots of other people. I can do lots of different things for a lot longer amounts of time. For example, just talking. I love talking, and I just feel like talking like nonstop right now. And it makes me think back to um when I used to do these my junior year. I didn't do any my senior year. Actually, I counted to, I said fiend 61,000 times my senior year, but it brings me back to my junior year when I did these all the time. And my mom, she hated it. And my mom doesn't like a lot of things I do, but it's to the point where she just like laughs and shrugs it off now. And it's like a cool relationship I feel like I have with my mom. Some people don't have what I have, and I'm honestly grateful for that. And I'm grateful for a lot of things in my life. One of those just being able to actually go out of state to a school here in New York. I'm from Virginia, and being from Virginia, it's like a big adjustment for everything, especially weather. It's snowing first, second week of November right now. I'm not used to that until around December time frame. Running track, and back to being grateful. I'm honestly grateful for being able to come here to run track. I actually made the full commitment here mentally without actually having an offer, which was a pretty ballsy thing to do. I don't recommend anyone doing it. I was hoping to get an offer, and I had only applied to two schools, one of which I got rejected from. The other one I got accepted to, which was here. And I would literally would wait every single day for my coach to call me and offer me the position. Eventually, he did, and I didn't. For some reason, I didn't commit right away. I don't understand why, but I did. I didn't, and after just like I think I committed 2 months, like a week before the decision day, the cutoff day, and honestly, one of the best experiences of my life. I'd say just like just to feel the bliss, just to feel the bliss. I have made my own commitment posts. They had offered to make me one, but I didn't feel like waiting, so I took some pictures of myself and did it like that. Honestly, I like pictures, like just everything. Like I've gotten more and more into taking pictures. When I was younger, I didn't like taking pictures. I feel like every kid doesn't like taking pictures when they're younger. It's just like because you're like just forcing them to do something. No one likes to be forced to do anything they don't like doing. I can name like a million things that I don't like doing. I like doing, but I don't like being forced to do it. Let's say the dishes. No one likes being forced to do the dishes. It's just like you're doing the dishes yourself, and then your mom or your parent tells you to do the dishes, and eventually you don't want to do the dishes anymore. And it's like a lot of other chores. Like a lot of other chores. I know sometimes when I was younger, when I did the dishes, I used to break some of them, and some dishes was my mom also always pointed out dishes going missing. I don't know what happened to the dishes going missing, to be honest. Like there's silverware going missing, and she said I was throwing the silverware in the trash. I don't believe that. I was never throwing the silverware in the trash. The silverware was going somewhere, and it had nothing to do with me. Maybe the dog ate the silverware. He's tiny. I don't think he can eat even one fork. His teeth are also falling out now. It's a product of growing old. Man, as I'm growing older, I don't look old yet. Looking at myself in the camera, I feel like I still look pretty young. I got my cheekbones and all the features on my face. My skin still isn't wrinkling. I honestly think my skin has cleared up over the past year because I've been taking better care of my skin and myself in general. That's a part of growing up, just learning how to do things better, understanding yourself, understanding the world around you. And as I do that, I feel like I grow as a person ever so slightly every day. And I'm honestly learning a lot about myself here. Like I'm coming to terms I do like reading textbooks. I only like reading textbooks that I like reading though. Like I don't like reading, say, history textbooks or math textbooks because they're boring. But when it comes to reading my linguistics textbook, I read it like it's a Bible. It's kind of blasphemous. I'm sorry if that's kind of blasphemous, but if that makes sense. Like I read and I understand everything that's inside the book, and I read and understand everything inside the book, and it's my mind is like a sponge, and I feel like it's an amazing ability to have to be able to read and enjoy something while also being able to earn like certifications, like because that's all a degree is. It's like certification saying you understand like a certain topic, and the certain topic I'm studying is like linguistics. I just said that before. Phone's ringing. Can't have that interrupting my hour-long yap session because we don't like interruptions. No one likes being interrupted, actually. Like I'm pretty sure when you're having a conversation with somebody, you don't want, say, another friend or some other person come in and interrupt what you're saying. You like to getting your story out. You like being able to convey the message you want to without any outside forces. Because if you have an outside force intervene, then you feel like you're being silenced, and no one likes being silenced because when you're silenced, you feel left out, alone, and you feel lots of negative emotions. No one likes feeling because I personally don't like feeling negative emotions, and when I feel negative emotions, it kind of like drains me. I don't feel like myself, and when I don't feel like myself, I tend to shy away from everyone. I tend to be more quiet, which is nothing like me from what anyone else could say. Like when it comes to being quiet, that just sounds too foreign. Like the first week I was here at UB, the first week I was here at UB, I was really quiet because I didn't talk to many people. Um, I spent most of my time. I didn't spend most of my time around. I actually spent a lot of time walking around. But when I was walking around, I was just listening to music, just jamming out, and that was pretty much it. It was nothing. It was a lot of out of the ordinary things from someone that would back home would describe me as. And finally, after some time, I made some friends, and I was back to being myself. Because a book my dad gave me, it was like those who think negative only get a negative result. Those who think positive only get a positive result. First week here, I thought mostly negative. I didn't think I was going to be able to make it through the semester. I didn't think I was going to enjoy as much of my time here as I thought it would be. And I got exactly what I thought of. I thought negative, and I got negative. I got the negative result of me being alone, me just being so like disassociated in the classroom, and just being out of me. I wasn't truly me. Then opportunity came. I was always told to take the opportunity when you get it, because you may not be able to get it ever again in the future. So I took the opportunity, and I was able to make some friends with it. I started thinking more positive, that I was going to be able to be friends with them longer. And as I thought positive, the positive came to truth, and they're some of the best people I met today. I actually talked about this on my YouTube channel. I think it was the last video I uploaded, actually, or the video before last. And I was just talking about my time here and just giving an update to friends and family back home, and how I was able to improve myself my mental state while being here. I do that. Me and my YouTube channel was something I started to, because I have ideas I wish to convey, and sometimes you're not able to talk to somebody or just yap in their ear to convey the message. So I found the best thing I could do was to convey the message by talking to myself. And one of the best ways to talk to myself was just talking to the camera. I started off just one video. One video turned into 3. And every now and then I remember that it's something I do. And a video comes out probably once a week, once every few weeks, probably once a month. As I've gotten here, since I've been here, the videos haven't been as frequent because I often forget about it several times. I get the notifications on my phone, like, of YouTube, and when I get the YouTube notifications, it makes me think about the channel, and then sometimes I just go and rewatch what I've said to myself, because oftentimes, just because you're the one that came up with the idea and you've expressed the idea doesn't mean you're going to remember it. And lots of times, it's with lots of artists and people. It's one of my prime examples is Playboi Carti. He's the rapper, and he's made some good songs, amazing songs. And just because he made the songs, those songs probably came out 5+ years ago. That doesn't mean he's going to remember the lyrics to the song. I'd be surprised if he could go over his entire discography word for word, like the 100, 200, maybe even 300 plus songs that he's probably recorded word from word. And I'm pretty sure there's hundreds of other artists that have done that, because that level of memorization, I feel like it's impossible. That's not good to say, because anything can be possible. It's probably take lots of time, because humans have been able to prove impossible several times, and it surprises me every time. I like to think about me doing the impossible, because lots of times impossible is seen as something that is extremely hard to do, like 0.0001%. Say Olympic athletes, probably 0.2% of track athletes go professional, and then probably only even a fraction of that go to the Olympics or World Athletics every year. I see that small percentage, and I see the videos of the athletes like yelling, like, as they cross the finish line, like with like excitement and stuff like that. I say, I want that to be me. Even with the small fraction of it, how the odds are pretty much impossible for me to do it. That's not going to stop me from trying. With that said, just because he has a small percentage of chance that he doesn't remember every single song lyric, doesn't mean he can't remember every single song lyric. I'm pretty sure if he just listened to his own music over and over and over again, I'm pretty sure he could go over every single song bar for bar just like that. Because it's like a rhythm to it. Because rhythm, once you're in your rhythm, it's like a flow state. It's like you're able to knock out stuff at the snap of a finger. You can do it without even thinking twice of it. And That's pretty much what I get from studying my books over and over again. Studying my books over and over again. It's to the point where when I meet with my APS and she helps me studying, she asks me a question from my textbook. I don't even have to think. I don't have to close my eyes, look up. I don't have to like count on my fingers and stuff like that. It's just I give the answer without hesitation, and that's what it's like to truly understand something. Because if you won't ever truly understand yourself. Because I'm pretty sure if I was to ask you right now, say 5 words that describe you, it's going to take you a few seconds, maybe a few minutes to truly understand like give 5 words to describe yourself. Some people, they won't be able to give 5 words because they truly do not understand themselves. Like when it comes to naming 5 words, I would say I am outgoing. I'm very outgoing. I love talking to new people. Some might not want to talk to me, and I can understand that, and I won't press it. With outgoing, I would say I'm pretty loud. I project my voice a lot. With this sound room, I don't think it's absorbing a lot of sound, so it probably won't sound that way through the camera. And besides those 2 words, off the top of my head, if I stop and think, I'm probably going to be stopping and thinking for another 30 seconds. I'm not going to be able to name other 3 words to describe myself. And that shows I truly do not understand myself. And if that 60-second, 90-second sequence of me explaining that, were you able to think of 5 words to describe yourself? Probably not. Because you probably haven't thought that deep of how to describe yourself. And I think that's a really cool thing that schools and like mental programs do, because I've all throughout K through 12 and in college, it's the mental performance. They'll always ask you, name something that describes yourself, something that you do. What do you do in your free time? It may take you a second, but eventually you will get the answer done. But you need the rhythm to be able to name it like that, because truly understanding yourself, you'd be able to do a lot more than someone that doesn't understand themselves. Someone that doesn't understand themselves can also often be indecisive. Someone that's indecisive is someone that's also slower when it comes to making decisions, and probably may struggle doing other things. So when you build that rhythm, you can be like Superman. Like Superman, you can do anything that you want. And I feel like anyone should be able to sit down and just have a long conversation with yourself and start thinking, how do I be a better me? And that's something I love doing. I love sitting down and just like thinking. I love just writing down things. I believe I mentioned earlier about a book that my dad gave me and I read. And every now and then there's something that I think is like super good. I can apply it to my life. So I take it and I highlight it. And before I go to sleep, or not, I want to say every time before I go to sleep, but every now and then I take a highlighter. I open the book and I read what I've highlighted and I just think about it. Like a man can either create or destroy himself. He creates the sword that he will use to slay the dragon and find himself, or he used the sword that would end up falling into his foot and hurting himself, because your actions are what create you. Your actions define you as a person. Your actions have consequences. Consequences can often be good, but also be bad. Nobody likes bad consequences. I hate bad consequences. I do a lot of stupid stuff. I don't think before I do sometimes. And when it comes to doing this, just talking, I just say words. I don't think much before doing it. I just say the first thing that comes to mind. That's what I feel like. It's a skill to be able to just talk this long nonstop without too many long pauses. Every now and then, I've noticed while doing this for 20 minutes right now, that eventually I do pause, but the pause I feel like is no longer than 5 seconds. I try to avoid long pauses, because when it comes to long pauses, I lose my rhythm and I start stuttering more. I'm not getting the words out that I need to, because when you're yapping, you need to be able to yap. It's not really a yap if you're spending most of your time quiet and thinking. Even though being quiet and thinking is good sometimes, because when you're trying to find yourself and when you're trying to do anything else, just when I'm on a mission to talk nonstop for an hour long, it's not really talking nonstop for an hour long. You're just not saying anything. And points in times, it's hard for me not to say anything. I love, if I have something I want to say, I need to say it. But I've also been practicing my own self-control. And when I I want to say something, but I know it shouldn't be said, I've gotten better and better and better at not saying it. And I feel like that happens lots of times often when I was younger, I would think of something and I just say it. I often just hurt someone, or I told on myself, or just no one cared. And sometimes instead of, you never know if it's going to be a positive outcome, negative outcome, when what you say, what you're going to say, or just a neutral outcome. Instead of finding out, sometimes you gotta just do nothing, because there's an art of doing nothing when it comes to things. One, excuse me, like an art to doing nothing. Sometimes to prove yourself, you don't have to think about it. You just do it. Like over the last year, I didn't. I know I've improved myself. I haven't thought too deep into the the minor details into it. I haven't done the extra stuff. I haven't gone through every social interaction that I've had in the last however many days. Just I've improved when it comes to conversational skills. Like I said earlier, I don't just say things that don't need to be said. I I'm I feel like even more outgoing as time goes on. Even more outgoing, and there's an art of not overthinking things. Because sometimes people often overthink things, and when you overthink things, I feel like that also causes anxiety. Because sometimes I start to freak out when I overthink things, and when I notice I'm freaking out from overthinking things, I just have to take a step back, think, take a breath, and just keep going. And sometimes people deal with overthinking things in different ways. I've tried offering I've tried offering ideas on how to help with overthinking. Some people, they try my ideas, sometimes they don't. I wouldn't say I'm No, I will say I'm not perfect. I'm not the best human being when it comes to things. I believe I'm far from it, because I still mess up all the time. I I mess up all the time. That's what makes me me. I I do, I think, I do, and then I think again. Sometimes people say think before you do things. I say think before you do things, while also after you do things, because you can also learn from it. But that doesn't mean you need to think after everything you do, because then when you think about everything after you do it, then you start to overthink. So it's like it's like I feel like it gets confusing at times, because sometimes you feel like, am I overthinking this? And then sometimes you just you don't think about something you should have probably thought about. Like, I don't have a specific example off the top of my head. And I just know there's some things I can tell I'm overthinking. And then there's some things that I remember like weeks, maybe even months later. I think about it. I was like, yo, why'd I do that? And so much time has passed. There's no correction to it. And I can't really stress over it. It's already past. The only thing I can do is worry about the future, because the future you can change. You can change the future you learn from the past. And that's what makes you a better person, from learning from your mistakes. Because you can't keep making the same mistakes, because you have to learn from them. because eventually you can't really consider them mistakes if you're not learning from them. It's just something that you do. We all do a lot of things, and some of them, excuse me, some of the things that you do, eventually they won't be considered mistakes. They'll just be considered something that you do. Let's say you made the mistake of forgetting to wash your hands. But if you forget to wash your hands after you use the bathroom, say 4 days in a row, can't really consider it a mistake of forgetting to wash your hands. It's just you don't wash your hands. I'm going to spit a little bit. You just don't wash your hands. Or say you made the mistake of forgetting to submit your essay one time and you tell your professor. They're like, oh, I understand. A month later, oh, I forgot to submit my essay. Oh, I understand. Third time, it's just going to be, no. You're not making the mistake of forgetting to submit your essay. You're just not submitting your essay, if you get what I'm putting down. That's something I just came up with on the spot, and I feel like I did a good job with it. I'm going to give myself a pat on the back. Self-love is also good. Oh, that's another thing I want to get into, self-love. I love myself a lot. I think I'm amazing. And guys, I love self-love, and to be able to look in the mirror and smile at myself, knowing that there's like things that I can't fix, they're immutable, that I just have to deal with. Like, say, looking at myself in the camera, I could see one eye is different from the other. My eyes aren't perfectly aligned. This eye looks smaller than this one. But I'm able to look at myself in the eyes right now and say, hey, what's up? That's me. I have a scar in the middle of my eyebrows. It looks like a little black dot. I don't know if you can see it. My hair isn't brown all over. I have to redo that. But that's not immutable. You could change that. I could change that. Let's say my teeth. I have a gap in between my teeth. My teeth are crooked. And that's something I can't change. And there's sometimes, I remember when I was younger, I used to like hate it. I used to like, why do my teeth have a gap in between it? That doesn't look right. Everyone else's teeth doesn't have a gap in it. I remember standing in the mirror, hushing my teeth together, hoping that one day the gap will close. Well, 10 years later, the gap hasn't closed. What else? There's like other like acne scars and stuff I have on my face, scars I have on my arms, my wrists, moles. Say my hairline right here, it comes back further here. This part comes up. But I'm able to look myself in the mirror, smile, and say, that's me. I lay down and I go to sleep saying, I'm me. I get to look the people in the eyes around me and smile, saying, they're my friends. They don't hate me. They like me because I'm me, not because of what I have. And that's something I feel like everyone should be able to experience. Yes, there's going to be negative experiences. There's been things people have told me that I don't really like, and that honestly they do hurt me. Because I wouldn't say I can't be hurt, because that would mean I wouldn't say no. Yeah, no, I'm just going to skip over that part. But I want to say I can't be hurt, because I can't be hurt. That's what makes me human. Because sometimes I do dwell on some things, but eventually I've gotten to the point where, hey, why am I still on this? It blows over, and I reconstruct myself, build myself back up. I'm able to bounce back from things real fast. Because that's what keeps me moving. You got to keep moving. Always keep moving. Because the longer you dwell on something, the more you're still in the past. You're thinking about the past. Because you can't change the past. You've already done it. Whatever the person thinks, whatever the consequences happen, you can't change. But what you can change is the future. And you can always change the future. So next time something does happen, or someone does say something to you, you're able to put up your shield. You're able to push through it and deal with it in a different way. It's always the mental fortitude. Having a strong mind is what allows you to go forward. And going forward is always what we want. I love to see progress from anyone doing anything everywhere. Like saying, say great improvements. um, physicals, like physicality at the gym, PRs. I happen to make a lot of like metaphor, like references to a lot of things because when I'm talking to my dad, he always likes to give an example for when he's explaining a concept, and I kind of like picked that up too. When I'm explaining to someone how something works, I've tend to notice that I often do give examples too, like he does jujitsu, and he brings up jujitsu sometimes when he's giving an example because like practice, repetition is always good. The mindset on getting into what you need to be doing, and just like the physicality to it, how even when you're still sore and hurt, he still keeps going. And he has my brother doing it, and I think my brother's learning from it too. I have like my own jujitsu, for example, track and field. My body hates it, or it loves it because exercise is good, but I also feel like it hates it because I get tight hamstrings, I got tight quads, I get I hurt all over, I'm out of breath, my heart is beating out of my chest. And the same thing happens with him in jujitsu, but mine is just track and field, and it hurts a lot. But instead of giving up after one hard practice that I probably didn't do good in, or just hurt so much that I just don't feel like doing the sport again, the beauty of it is I, I love doing it to myself. So I eventually come back to the track and I do it all over again. And I've been doing it for, this is going to be my 5th year so far because I started back in 6th grade actually. I wouldn't count 7th grade because of COVID. So 6th grade, 7th grade, I did do it in 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade, and now my freshman year in college. So I would say 6 years because 7th grade doesn't count because I was so upset when it actually did happen because trials was the week before school got shut down. It was only 2 weeks, only 2 weeks. Then it became a month, then it became 2 months, then it got canceled indefinitely. School was actually online, and when school was actually first online, it was real bad. We had access to like message in the chat. Teachers weren't able to turn it off, and it was just like no one actually went to class, and if they did, it was on mute, and they were just playing the game in the background. Guilty as charged. And I spent a lot of time on the game in the basement playing with my friends. I didn't go outside much, which a lot of times I feel like may have created like a few introverted people because some people that don't get as much social interaction is probably like tough and like toughened it even more because you already didn't get many and then now you don't get any at all because you're stuck in the house. I was lucky enough to live two, one, two, 4 houses down from my best friend, so him and his brothers were always at my house playing, and then my other good friend on the other side, he was probably another 8 houses to the other side of me, and he was always over at my house too. And then as time went on, I completely forgot what I was talking about. As time went on, I still talk to them every now and then, but life just happens. They moved away. They did this. All this stuff happened, and because of that, excuse me, we went our separate paths. I'm here now in complete other state than either of them. I do miss them a lot sometimes. I do. Well, I already said I still talk to them. I still talk to a lot of friends that moved away, just not as frequently as they happen anymore. I honestly feel like that sucks. I wish it could be like when we were originally seeing each other like all the time and having like tons of fun. It's just like maybe I wish the like 5 hour drive was maybe like 15 minutes like it used to be, or probably even less than that. Some of them I could probably even walk to their house. And I wish it was more of a 15-minute drive than a 5 hour drive, or 15-hour walk. Cause I just miss hanging out with them. It's just like I lived next to like football field complex center, whatever you want to call it. And we were there pretty much every single day for I'd say like 2 years, not straight. Like it wasn't after school, but we were there often. We played same game for an hour at a time. Hours same for this play the same game for a year, hours at a time. Like the second we got home from school, we were already on the game. It's like after I got done with practice, I was all into the Brawlhalla. I love Brawlhalla so much. So I probably have, I think, 500 hours on Brawlhalla. That's probably not even a lot compared to other people. I've seen some people with like 6,000 hours on games. I don't even get how you have 6,000 hours of spare time. Pretty sure it's like accumulated over time, like say years. I don't, cause how many I've have 30 days worth of hours on Fortnite. Fortnite came out in 2017, and when I did check that, I had my computer, so it was around 2022. So in 5 years, I had 30 days worth of hours. So whatever 30 times 24. But yeah, I'm gonna do it real quick. 30 times 24. Oops. 30 times 24. That's still only 720 hours of playtime over the course of 5 years. And some people have 6,000. It's like, I was a child. I didn't have anything to do after school and stuff like that. Sometimes it's like grown men having 6,000 hours or something like that. The game's probably like 15 years old, and that's probably the only thing they do after work. I don't even blame them. I have worked a few jobs before too, and they get stressful at times. And it's like fast food. I feel like it's like nowhere near as stressful as some other people. How they deadlines and stuff like that. It's just like different. It's I feel like it was because I was new to the field and working was something that I wasn't used to. Standing for 8 hours, moving, moving fast, cutting food up. The heat, it gets repetitive, and then you got say like a manager yelling in your ear, or you got some coworkers that you just don't like. Or you just got some rude customers, because I've worked on customer service. I'll say customer service, but I did like take orders and stuff like that. Sometimes the customers can be rude. Customer is never right. I remember seeing no, because of the government shutdown going on. I remember seeing the lawyer having a hot dog stand, and he had a stand on his thing that said the lawyer is never right. I mean, shoot. I'm saying that the the customer is never right. Like sometimes customer gets annoying at times, and I'm just gonna say that because it gets frustrating when you're like 30 years old yelling at a 16-year-old that probably only had the job for less than 2 weeks, still learning how to things to do, and you're saying yelling at them. It got to the point where one manager just came up and was like, "Yo, calm down." Telling someone to calm down when they're not calm isn't a really good idea. For those who didn't know, because eventually, for some reason, that makes them even more riled up. They get even more angry, and when they get more angry, they start yelling, and hopefully, it doesn't escalate, 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 escalate into say things being thrown, hands being thrown, and stuff like that. I've seen lots of videos online of people blowing little incidences into out of proportion, and then eventually the police get involved, and no one likes the police. Actually, when I was working at McDonald's, the police did get involved one time. There's one lady, she found a gum wrapper in her drink, which is weird because we're not allowed to have gum, and not to my knowledge anyone that was working chewed on gum. So she called the cops. The guy came in, was like asking for footage. The manager said no, he needs a warrant. And I think it turns out the lady accidentally put gum in her thing on accident. So it was kind of a little funny. I have lots of little stories from when I worked there. And the bowling alley was a lot calmer. I wasn't dealing with as many people. I was also the one cooking the food, so I also didn't have to talk to anyone, which was what I liked. Because when I'm in the zone, I don't like to talking about flow state. I think I mentioned flow state like 30 minutes ago at this point. um, which is kind of weird to say. I've been talking for 40 minutes right now. But yeah, when flow state, when I'm when I'm doubting, when I'm really getting into what I'm doing, I don't like any distractions. 'Cause when I'm getting distracted, I end up getting knocked out of my rhythm. I also mentioned rhythm like 30 minutes ago. When I'm off of my rhythm, I tend to stray away from what I'm doing, and I stop doing it. I and when I lose focus, I end up picking up my phone. I start doom scrolling, or I just start doing something else, like changing the song, trying to figure out what playlist I want to listen to, or just laying on the floor, or even getting in my bed and going to sleep. So I'm really into my zone. I don't like being bothered, because when I'm bothered, things like that happen, and eventually work doesn't get done, or it gets turned in late. Oh, thinking of that, I have something due that's due at 12 o'clock, but I got 3 minutes to do it. I don't think I'm gonna have any time to do it. I also want to finish this, and it won't really bother me anyways. Just some math assignment. I think I'm doing pretty good in the class. I can eat a zero, even though I shouldn't probably eat a zero. I'm pretty sure by the time I even get to the assignment, it's already going to be logged, because it takes a few minutes to get logged into my thing. And I feel like I actually like my math class. It's a lot more fast paced than high school math. It keeps me on my toes. That's another thing. I like to work fast. If I'm not working fast, I'm not working at all. If something is too slow paced, I get bored. I lose focus. When I'm losing focus, it's like I said, I tend to do other things. When something's fast paced, I'm constantly writing something down. Information is always going into one ear and staying up here. And when it's going slow, I tend to daze off. Whoa. Then it goes in one ear, out the other. And then I have to spend more time outside the classroom trying to figure out what's happening inside the classroom. But now, with the textbooks, and now since everything is a lot more fast paced in college, I feel like I'm getting down stuff that I should be getting down. I'm also learning a lot more things I want to learn, instead of in high school when you got to do just like stuff you don't want to do. Like I loved like pretty much all my teachers. They were amazing. It's just like I'm in the class and learning something I don't want to learn, and I mean, yeah, having information in your head is all having that information is always good, but I want to focus on something that I really want to like get into. Like I I love language, so when I study linguistics, but there is no linguistics in high school. So now that I'm doing that, I feel like I'm actually enjoying what I'm doing. Some things that people say is boring, like learning the breakdown of like sentences and stuff like that, I think is amazing, and I really enjoy doing. And since I enjoy doing it, I do better on different tests and exams. Like I scored I think 97, 96 on my midterm, compared to say another class where I only scored like an 80, 85 on like tests and stuff like that. So you just really got to be able to find something that you enjoy doing, because you always do better at it. And the more I enhance it, the better I get at it. Like, say, calisthenics. Let's use that for an example. I mentioned examples like 15 minutes ago at this point now. Say you really like seeing the guys like doing like the crazy stuff with like their bodies and stuff like that. You want to be able to do it, so you start doing it too. But it hurts doing a push-up, but you really like doing it, so you keep doing it over time. Eventually, you're able to do push-ups with one arms. Then eventually, you're able to do a handstand and do push-ups at the same time. And it's pretty sure I'm referring to the same thing. Eventually, you'll be able to do like some crazy things, and you feel better about doing it. You're more into learning how your body works, say how much protein, how much carbohydrates, if you're getting enough micronutrients in your body, eventually you start paying attention more when someone's talking about it. When you're paying attention more, you tend to do better in doing it. Say you get the form down, so you're working the correct muscles. Someone that doesn't really enjoy doing it, it's like probably they're doing it just to, like, say, lose weight. Someone that's trying to lose weight maybe not enjoy going to the gym, but they're doing it because they have to. So they may have more improper form when doing something compared to someone that just going to the gym because they can go to the gym because they like going to the gym. They may have better form than others. And say, like me, I like running track. So my running form may be a lot better compared to somebody that doesn't run, that's never played a sport or just doesn't do track in general. So I may pump my arms, get my legs into a certain position faster there, or in a correct, more correct articulation, more correct form. I'd say better than anyone else compared to, say, someone that has never played a sport ever or never done anything outside of that. They may not get their arms up high enough. They may be have too high heel recovery. Heel recovery when they're running. And see, I can explain to you how running, correct running form works. Say you need to, when you're having a low heel recovery, that means when you're in the air, when you're accelerating, the longer you're in the air, you're not really going anywhere. So you want to be on the ground. So when you're starting, you don't want to kick your feet up in the air. You want to keep your heels low to the ground. But you also don't want to drag them on the ground, because when you're dragging them, you're creating friction, and you're creating not much friction. You're actually not going. You're slowing yourself down too. So low, but not too low. And you want quick and hard steps. You also want longer strides, because typically someone with longer strides, they take less steps, and when you take the less steps you take, the faster you go. I've actually learned that from watching some YouTube videos with, say, Usain Bolt. I don't remember how many steps he took in his 100, and he ran, I think I took it in like 70 steps. And compared to someone that may take it in 80 steps. Someone that took it in 80 steps, they may run the exact same as he does, but since they're, say, 5 inches shorter than him because he was 6'5", they're going to be a lot slower. And I feel like I have a natural advantage when it comes to something like this, because I'm 6'3", I have longer steps. And I feel like I can be amazing too, great, if I'm able to get everything down pat, like get my step downs, I'll be able to open my strides correctly, and I can get the strength. And I really want to go to the Olympics and be that 0.001% of track athletes. I just realized I never finished that topic when I was talking about it earlier. Earlier I mentioned near impossible situations, and I got carried away and started talking about something else for the last 40 minutes. But yeah, I want to do the impossible. I want to be a track athlete, an Olympian. I want the little Olympian tattoo somewhere on my body, because I feel like just to say you ran in the Olympics is like such like a big flex. It's like, I want to be a champion. Just to say I'm the best at doing something, because when you say you're the best at something here in the U.S., typically in U.S. sports, you're only playing other Americans. But in the Olympics, you're against people from all over the place. I think like the top countries for sprints right now, you got Jamaica, you got Botswana. Only three I can think of at the top of my head at the moment. You're beating people from all over the world at that point. So then you really say you're the best, not just the best in the U.S., because there's only Humans are only one world. We're not on Mars yet, and we don't know who else is out there. Like thousands of light years away, there might be some other life forms, but right now it's only us. So when you say you're the best, you're really the best out there right now, and you're the best human. Best one, best human with it. You're best in the world. You're best human. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of faster animals out there, like cheetah. Yeah. Cheetahs actually can't keep their speed for long. I know they can't keep their top end speed for long, but I wonder how long they can actually run. Because I know human endurance is insane. Like how I walked 20 miles, 7.5 hours. I'm pretty sure if I could pace myself to see how far I can walk, I'm pretty sure I could walk for 24 hours straight. I may not do that now because that absolutely destroy my body, and I feel like absolute crap in the middle of a track season. But I feel like after I finished doing track, I could do a lot of things I want a lot to do. Like I've always wanted to do half marathons and just marathons, and I'm gonna start training for those. But I can't do that at the moment because I I got some things I need to sort out first on the track. Because I've managed to secure myself another 4 years in college doing this, and I'm gonna enjoy every last minute. I'm gonna enjoy everything about it, cause once I'm done, I'm done. I don't know what else I'm going to be able to do, and what I really need to do is focus on what I'm doing for the next 3 years, because it's not 2 years now, because 25. Next year, 20. Yeah, 2.5 years about. I'm just saying 2 years. 2 years, the Olympics coming up, and I'm trying to be there. I'm trying to be on the screen. I'm trying to have my whole family seeing me, saying they know that guy. They talked to him. They dapped him up. They hugged him. Had a conversation with him. Went ice cream. They held him as a baby. I want them to look at the screen and see me, and then just everyone else I know, because just to think about the whole world looking at you, it feels like surreal. I feel like that. Like 8 billion people, and say a billion are looking at you, because I think there's like 2 billion that watch the World Cup. Say I'm just say like half of that. Say 1 billion people are having their eyes on you, running full speed just for just 20 seconds. Even if they're looking at you, they're not even looking at you long. Them still watching you. That means that you had eyes from around the world looking at you, and I want to have that feeling. I want more. Like you could say I'm greedy. I don't. Yeah, that's one of the 7 deadly sins. But I want more. I don't. At first, it was my teammates and my family. Eventually, there's other people from other schools that know me. But I want more. I want people from around the country to know me. I want everyone to know me. I want the world to know my name. I remember saying that, let's say, a year ago at this point. Some over a year. I said I want the world to know my name. My friends laughed at it. They thought it was corny, but I was being dead serious. I said it out loud. Yes, I say a lot of corny stuff out loud, but sometimes I actually mean it. And prime example, like I just said earlier, I want the world to know my name, because I truly want to be one of the greats. I want to cement my legacy into human history. And I don't know how long human history might last. A meteorite might come and hit the earth and knock all of us out, and my legacy only lasts just a few years. But however long it lasts, I just want to know Keone Levon Edward Chong is going to be in that book for the rest of the known time. Because, excuse me, of known time. Because there's some people that, even though they died, say, 200, 500,000, 2,000 years ago, we're still talking about them today. Say, Julius Caesar. He died probably more than 2,000 years ago. Got ancient Egyptians. They existed for like 7,000 years. Ancient, ancient China, they've been around 5,000 years. Mesopotamia, the first human civilizations, 10,000 years or something like that. They've been around for so long. Yet there is still signs of them being here. There's still evidence of the people there. Their names may not be remembered, but their deed is always remembered. And something I remember seeing, I think it was like something about like the Red Army or something like that during World War II, when say they had like millions of soldiers. Like I think they had like 7 million soldiers against the Germans at one point. Though not all their names are remembered, the deed, what they did, has been remembered, and I feel like that's like a really like powerful thing. Like you shouldn't lose hope in something that you do just because you'll be forgotten. It's just you'll still be remembered. Just like it's not your name, so just your legacy is still cemented there with everyone else around you. Because the group of people, crap, the group that you had is always going to be remembered. I don't think I tied that together well. No, that wasn't tied together really well. I'd say like Queen. They started out. I think when I watched Bohemian Rhapsody, they started out just being like a bar band, and random guy just came over and started talking to them and stuff like that. And eventually, they went from just bar hopping to literally like international stars, which is crazy. And eventually, they had these amazing songs and music like that. And I was listening to the songs when I was younger, and I love the songs. I was just singing the songs as I walked around. I never knew it was them that made the songs. I was watching the movie with my mom one time. Yeah, I was watching the movie with my mom. My mom was born after because they were hot in like the 70s, I think, 60s and 70s. My mom was born after that, and she always knew the song, like some of the songs. She knew of them. She never knew they made the songs though. So it was like cool for me and my mom to see and understand the songs together at the same time. And I feel like that happens a lot of things, like quotes from movies that I've always said, not knowing they came from a movie, and I watched the movie and I hear it, and I was like, yo, and that just shows just because your name isn't remembered doesn't mean that your deed isn't forgotten. And I feel like as long as there's some part of you still tied in with it, that's all that matters. You don't always have to have your name stamped on a huge billboard in the middle of like Times Square or something like that. The people that built the billboard probably gonna have some like more like ties into like it, or like um the men who built America. It's like Vanderbilt, Rockefeller, and Carnegie. Their names are probably have faded in history, but their deeds haven't. We still got the Carnegie Steel. Like and I'm pretty sure he made like the modern steel method, or like blowing air into it as it cools down, or something, as you melt it, or something like that. You got Rockefeller. He's the first billionaire. He like changed the way like oil and like stuff was transported. Then the railroads that crossed one side of the United States to the other. Vanderbilt that he did everything. It's like this, like the Steelers. I remember the Pittsburgh Steelers. Just the reason why they're called the Pittsburgh Steelers is I'm pretty sure because of Carnegie Steel, and that's located in Pittsburgh. And there's a lot of other football teams that are called that. I'm pretty sure the Buffalo Bills are called that because like hunting lots of bills or something inside of Buffalo, New York, or something like that. And I remember seeing something about all them being hunted to like extinction or something like that. 49ers, the gold rush. There was a lot of gold rush going on, and they were like hunting it, and like everyone moved over there for like the gold. I can't think of any other teams like off the top of my head, and I think I'm done. Oh my goodness, I really just talked for an hour.